Welcome back to This Day. Joining me now from MacEachern Company is owner Dan MacEachern, and he has also brought with him a longtime customer and friend, Penny Fowl. So nice to meet you, Penny. Thank you for joining us today. And Dan, it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks.
So tell me, just for those that maybe don't know you or know your business, give us just like a quick little background about your business.
Well, we build patios, patio rooms, and patio covers. And we've done a lot of work in Laguna Woods for the past 30, 35 years, and it's kind of morphed from, started doing patio and patio covers, and then into remodeling and all that, and then back to basically concentrating on patio rooms now and patio covers.
Yeah.
So,
and that's great because summer's coming up, so
yep,
I'm sure that's
always a good time.
Such a wonderful thing that people want. So Penny, tell us, what is your connection with Dan? How long have you guys known each other? How did it start?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably 19 or 20 years.
Wow.
I've known him.
Yeah.
Because when I first moved in here, the unit that I was in, the patio cover was just falling off. It was awful.
Okay.
And I called him, and I don't even know how I came to call you.
Yeah, I think it must have been on the list or something back then. You might have called
maybe, but he came out and didn't hesitate to tear it down. A lot of people don't want to do demolition on things. It's a pain, I think. But he just took it down and put up a new cover, and I was really happy.
Yeah.
So then when I got ready to redo the kitchen, I called Dan, and I've lived in several units since I've been here.
Oh, really?
And he's always my go-to guy because all the people that he has for subcontractors, they're terrific people. And you know, I think you probably still have a key to the house if I need something done, right? And he just, I mean, when he quotes a price, that's the price. What he says he's going to do, he does it. I've never had any problem, and I don't know anybody else in the area here that they hire a contractor and they're totally satisfied.
Right.
You know, there's always a problem, there's always an argument, there's always delays. Dan does everything for you. He gets the permits. His guys show up on time. They're nice guys. They're clean work. And he stands behind everything, every single time. I mean, if there was any kind of a problem, I think once there was a screw that came loose or something somewhere, you came right out. You were there in about 5 minutes like it was an emergency. You know?
Yeah. So
he's really
he was on
great.
top of it.
Yeah, and when I first met her, and she called, I went out there and she was sitting on a lounge chair and she had this beat up old cover there, one that we had put in years ago. And she says, can you fix that? Yeah, I can fix that. And I go, place all those panels, take them out and replace them. It's not cheap, like $500. She goes, gives me money, get it done. And so that's how I knew her. And then she called me, was it about 4 years later maybe, or 3 years?
I don't know, but it wasn't too long.
And so then I'm talking to her, but I didn't know she knew it was me she was calling. And I said, did you used to be like a bail bonds person or something? Yeah. Oh, Penny, it's me, it's Dan. And so then we went out there and worked on her house that she was living in at that time. And then it went to another house on the lake.
Another house and another house.
And I know it, the lake house, and then that other one. And so we did a lot of work together over the years.
There's been a long history. And so obviously there's quite a bit of trust there.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, when you say, I want you to remodel my kitchen, he says, what do you plan on spending? And then he tries to work it out so that, you know,
It's
it comes into your budget.
Yeah.
And then, but, you know, he's good. He'll say, but, you know, if we did this, it's only going to be, you know, whatever, extra. And you think about it, and you know, he's right. You know, he's right.
Yeah, sometimes it's those little additional things that maybe you didn't think about, and then later down the road you're like, I wish I would have known about that, or wish I, you know, down the road you're like, okay, $500, $1,000, whatever. You're like, you don't remember that cost, but you know, but you do remember how well it makes things flow, or how it works. Or,
yeah, and a lot of people have a really limited budget. I mean, at the time when I was having him do all this stuff, it wasn't a problem, you know, just do it. But there are people that are on a limited budget, and he'll stick to that. He's really good. And if he can't do it, he tells you, you know, I just...
And sticking to a budget, I mean, that is so important because, yeah, you do sometimes like, this is what I have, I can't go over, you know, I'll add on later if I, you know, can't get everything I want at this point in time. So that's a huge thing. Yeah, it's very frustrating when you have people come in and say it's going to be one price, and then all of a sudden there's just on top of. You
just try and give them the price. This is what it's going to cost. If something comes up, hey, listen, we can do this. most of the jobs we do, we start out, it doesn't really end up exactly like that. You make some changes as you go along, and the homeowner comes in, what about this? That's a good idea. Okay, let's do that. So, it evolves a little bit, but generally, you get the end of it, you stick to your price, and people are happy afterwards.
Yeah.
And if I could say, the last house that I was in before the one I'm in now faced the lake, Barbara's Lake.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it had a really weird shaped patio slab.
Right,
It's kind
right.
of like a triangle, but one of those
Yeah, it was weird, I
elongated
know.
triangles.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put a nice patio cover up there, and I said, can you do that? And he goes, sure, we can do it. And it was beautiful. It just came out beautiful. And I don't know anybody else that would probably take the time to figure out how to put it in the location it was at, and still get a permit for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was. Yeah,
great.
you stand back and look at that, and you see the lake out there,
Oh, it's
and you're covered,
beautiful.
and we put that fan up there, a really nice fan. It
Yeah, with
really
lights.
is great.
Oh, it was, and skylights in it and everything.
Right, and
Yeah,
the
I love
skylights.
it.
But
Now, being that it was a different shaped yard, did you have to like custom create?
yeah, and
he
it took
did.
some
Okay.
math too. You had to
Okay.
figure this out.
Yeah.
You would think it was simple. It wasn't. It was odd to make the way this angle, but it came out with Bob out there and all the guys working on it. Came out great. So it was one of the best patio covers we did.
I think it was fabulous.
Yeah.
It was just
Well, and that's the longevity of the career you've had and being able to know your product, and to be able to come
Yeah.
up with different ways to make
Yeah,
it work.
right.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
what you're
it was-
paying for too, is
Yeah.
that knowledge that's
Yeah.
in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he doesn't just like to do cookie cutter stuff. I mean, he looks at things and tells you his opinion, and he's always got his special touch on things.
Yeah. It's more fun that way.
It is more
Well,
fun.
everybody contributes, and she knows most of the subs. They're still with me today.
Yeah, they are,
And
they're
she
great.
just talked to one of my guys, Rocky, yesterday or a couple of days ago.
I
did
love
something for
Rocky,
you.
yeah.
He loves Rocky. So these are guys that have been with us for 25 years.
Yeah, and you go to some people's homes when they're having a patio cover or anything done, and these guys leave stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
His guys don't do that. They clean up as they work. That's important.
And another thing, she makes sandwiches better than any with it.
Oh.
With the
So
Harry-
that's the key. That's
That's the
why
key.
they're doing
Feed 'em,
such
yeah.
a good
These
job.
guys are out there, and she asked me, "You want a sandwich?" And I'm more like, "Well, I don't know, maybe." Well, okay. So I'm out there on the patio. She makes the whole thing, sandwiches, the whole. I'm sitting out. It's pretty nice, lady.
Yeah, that was kind of a mistake, though, because then he was always showing up at lunchtime.
And I wasn't the only one that. One of the
No, those
subs
guys-
goes, she said, "Yeah, Penny made me a sandwich. She make a sandwich for you too?" Oh, okay, good. So.
Well, the clean factor, cleaning up and
It's incredible.
making the homeowner comfortable during the process, because sometimes that's really hard for some people,
Yeah.
having the mess and everything, and
Yeah.
and they at least by nighttime when everyone cleans up to go home for the day, they at least, well, I know that was for my mom, that was a huge pet peeve. Whereas
Yeah.
for me, I'm like, I'll clean up. I don't,
Yeah,
I don't,
but,
it doesn't bother me.
When you
but
have
I
things
know.
all torn up and you're working, it
Yeah.
does bother you.
Yeah.
And secondly, it's like I have bad asthma. And so he knows that, and when they would come to do work in the house, there was going to be any plaster, dust, or anything, they made sure they always closed it off
Blasted
with
off,
plastic,
yeah.
Plastic it
Nice.
off. That's the only way I could stay in there and be okay, and they never complained about it at all. They were great. So,
Well, that's awesome. Dan, real quick, we're just about out of time. Any products coming out new for summer?
Well, you know what? One of the covers, I did this cover about 25 years ago, louvered cover, and then never did another one. And now the product is kind of back. So we have these patio covers now that we're able to do a louver where you can open it when it's sunny and out or close it in the rain. So that's one of the things we're kind of excited about. That
Yeah, give you
is-
that option. That's
Yeah,
really
give them an
nice.
option.
Thank you, Dan and Penny, for being here
Thank you
today.
so much.
And there's nothing better than hearing a happy customer.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm
thank
happy.
you. Thank you.
MacEachern Company has 35 years of exclusively serving all of Laguna Woods. Their specialty is patio covers, rooms, and enclosures. If you'd like to get in touch with them, you can go to their website at MacEachernCompany.com or give them a call at 949-922-3057. Stay with us because we have Sports Corner coming up right after this.
Okay.